My name is Nicolette. I'm the creator for that podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again, Juxtaposition of Your Very Soul. I'd like to say thank you very much for actually saying, for reaching out and actually finally getting to speak to you. Such an honor. So I think without further ado, I'm just going to do a bit of your introduction for our listeners today, and then we can get right into it. Hi,
Absolutely.
guys. Okay, Josh here is the CEO of Get Up Gang, which is a free health and fitness community that he says it in his own words, entertaining and informative at the same time. He is a personal development advisor, lifelong student leader, and salesman, has been a health and fitness coach for over 20 years, with 5 years of it being a soft tissue therapist, and on top of that, 3 years experience in real housing sales with 35 million sold to date. Wow. And this is very, very interesting to me. He said it himself in his profile. For the years that I've just mentioned, he has spent about roughly 250,000 on personal development. Who does that? And then last but not least, this is also interesting. He is a lover of psychological warfare. Now, that's a lot to unpack, but okay, let's just dive into it. Maybe you can summarize what happened to your younger years before leading up to where you are now.
A lot. So, yeah, starting out, I was born in Alabama, United States, in the deep South. I moved around about every year or so of my childhood. Uh, and that really taught me a lot of different things about people and society. But the probably the biggest lesson that I learned through moving around so much was that we can change who we are and how we present ourselves like that. Like if we, because we are a composition of the stories that we tell ourselves. So that's what we're made
Yes.
of
Yeah.
is, we wake up and I say, I'm Josh Parish and I like baseball and steak and
Mm-hmm.
sunshine. And that's what I run with. But tomorrow I could still say, I like sunshine, but I could say now I like to live at the beach and I'm
Yeah.
into basketball. And so you can change in the matter of an instant. So
Right.
it's just it's if you're comfortable with change and can you actually fulfill that role that you're trying to develop, kind of like characters in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we because life is is a stage and we're putting on a
Mm.
show. Now I'm not saying that to be not genuine with who you are, but you can really be anything you want to be. You just have to believe it.
Now, what's the first step to doing that?
One is just deciding to do it because it's deciding to do it and then cutting off the old ways and all the old connections because you can't be half and half. You have
Mm.
to actually go down the path and go at it 100% because
Mhm.
if you're trying to be, this way, but you're also diving back into the old ways, then you're not giving either its due. You're not it's not you have to go at things with everything that you have because if you split your force, you split your energy, then
Mm.
you're not giving either of them what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to live it with everything that you have.
Basically, giving everything that you got, like because attention, energy flows where you put your attention to, right?
Absolutely. And the one of the things that I absolutely despise is the idea of multitasking. Because if
Oh.
if you if you multitask, you're not doing anything but spinning your wheels. Like just go
Mm.
ahead, just do something to completion, get it done, and move on to the next task. But if you're trying to do five things at one time, well, we don't get anywhere with doing five things at one time. It's not. And for so long, people would wear that as a badge of honor. Like, hey, I'm a
Yeah. It's like,
multitasker. It's like,
yeah, I'm
so
doing this,
you're
I'm
just
doing this, I'm doing
scatterbrained.
this.
Like, yeah,
Yeah. But I'm guilty because today you can't help but you just have it's just tsunami of information everywhere. Your
Mm,
notification, your work, your everything, your family, your relationship itself. So it's just about being so laser focused on, and also I think prioritization, right?
hmm Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So,
all about prioritization. So yeah, just and it's tough to not take care of five things at one time, but if you can just try to segment it and
mm,
say, "Hey, I'm going to do this for 25 minutes and that's the only thing I focus on,"
mm,
then it's going to be way better in the long run if you can just give 25 minutes full focus to one thing at the time than just everything. I have all these open loops. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, in your own words, how does one rise to become the top in their chosen industry or community?
Well, I like that question. Every industry has its own specific language. So
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a mechanic or a computer engineer or a cook, a chef, yeah, everything has its own language.
The plumber.
But yeah, anything,
Yeah.
everything. So you got your own language, and then the very top of the industry, they have their own language, the top performers. So if you can get a mentor that's at the
Mm,
top of the industry that you're pursuing, you have the opportunity to leapfrog and take their specific wisdom and accelerate your journey. So I've always sought out high level mentors,
mm,
wherever I was going, because I knew that if I could somehow obtain their wisdom and provide value to them, they would pour into me, and I would be able to rise very fast. Because once you know specific information that other people don't know, then well, that's you're ahead of the game,
mm,
right? So if you are starting out and then all of a sudden you know the language of a master in the space, then you're starting out with the master language, and then you're you're so far ahead of everyone else because someone that 20 so many people say, "Oh, I've got 20 years experience in this specific industry."
yeah.
But is that a good thing? Is it a good thing
Mm,
to be mediocre at something for 20 years and never go seek out a coach? And I don't look at tenure as valuable. Yeah, it's important for someone to know the space, but
yeah.
look at people's performance and but don't look at their overall years in the space because you can suck at something for 20 or 30 years and still be doing it. So,
Oh gosh, I can feel some people getting called out when they actually listen to this podcast. Okay.
really
Right.
though,
So, yeah,
you make me
yeah.
blush.
Yeah. So, okay. So how does one, because you get the sea of all these coaches, right? All these mentors. So how does one start to pick and sift through all of these so-called mentor, like, and really choose that one, land themselves an elite mentor, like you mentioned.
Well, easier said than done,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yes,
one,
yes.
and I just posted about this 2 days ago. The
Okay.
master key to unlocking and building rapport is
Mm-hmm.
to ask people for their professional opinion. Because if you
Oh,
ask for someone's professional opinion, you're giving them a pass to pass judgment. To give me, hey, give me
oh,
your opinion on
that is so
something.
true. That's
So
so true.
therefore,
Yeah.
you're showing interest in, well, you're showing interest in what they have to say, and
Yeah.
then they pe- people that are high level in the space, they love to talk and they love to pour wisdom into worthy people. So
Yeah.
one, asking people for their professional opinion, and then two, it's finding what the master or the mentor needs, but not asking them, because we're all humans. We all have needs, and
Mm-hmm.
just because we're a master in one space doesn't necessarily mean that we have everything figured out. So if you can figure out what that one person needs, that
Mm-hmm.
you want their language, if you can figure out what they need and fulfill that need like nobody else can without even asking, you have you have a big dog in your corner. Like, so that's how I've always gotten my mentors is I would kind of be a private investigator. I would study them before I ever met them for the most part. I'd figure out who their friends were, what they were into, and
Right.
then I would go ask for professional opinion, and then I would have that conversation because you ask for their professional opinion and then ask penetrating questions that follow up on that opinion
Mm-hmm.
because they will level with you. If you ask good questions, they will keep
Mm-hmm.
pouring into you because you're asking good questions that are thought provoking. So,
Mm.
yeah. And through people what they're saying, they will let you know what's lacking in their life. So it's listening more than you're speaking.
Mm.
So, yeah. Yeah, and
Wow.
it's like picking a lock, but it and I know it might sound weird to be like a private investigator and study people, but really it's just it's operating with intent
Yeah.
and it's being well prepared before you ever hit the situation because if you just go in willy-nilly, you don't have
Mm.
any preparation whatsoever, you don't know what you're going to ask. Well,
Yeah.
people can smell that on you very quickly.
Oh,
So,
that is
yeah,
so
don't do
true.
that. You especially with high-level mentors, like you need to
Yeah.
go in a very genuine manner,
Prepared. Yeah.
but prepared. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely prepared.
Okay. So, what are some of the healthiest and fastest way to transform your fitness? Anybody listening out here right now?
Well, so I created the Get Up Gang, and
Yeah.
so the Get Up Gang is a health and fitness community. But the first thing that you're met with when you join
Mm-hmm.
is the Jumpstart program, the 21-day fitness transformation Jumpstart, and there's four pillars. Okay, so number one is work on your posture, really strengthening and mobilizing your spine. Right,
Okay. Yeah.
it helps you breathe better. It makes you feel more powerful. You
Mm-hmm.
project uh, you project confidence out to other people. People think that you're more in tune with your body because you are. So, all right, so posture enhancement. Number two is cleaning out your intestinal tract, cleaning out your guts.
Right.
So, because if you're walking around with a bunch of waste in you, you're
Mm-hmm.
bloated, you're backed up, like you're not feeling good. Like so, and that's the found like these four steps are the foundation of whatever your physical goals are. So you've got posture enhancement, you got intestinal tract cleanliness, then prioritizing animal proteins because
Animal
animal
protein.
proteins, yeah, like
Okay.
beef, chicken,
Beef, chicken.
fish, yeah. So that's going to help you build muscle mass, which is the driver of your body. The that's your it's the key for longevity is muscle mass. Makes you stronger, makes you more healthy, makes your immune system stronger, makes you more able, makes you more resilient. So that was step three. And then the last one is just your daily movement practice, which is your daily steps and your get ups. And get ups, basically, in a nutshell, a get up is getting on the ground and getting back up. Now, you may have heard of a burpee.
Burpees?
Yeah, burpee. But
I just.
okay, so I've renamed it. I've rebranded the burpee because
Mm-hmm.
CrossFit has absolutely demonized the burpee. Everybody's like, "Oh,
Okay.
burpees, no, that's the worst." And you think of a burpee, you think of someone like exercising to near death, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And if you've ever seen somebody do a burpee in a bad way, they just
Oh,
look like they're flailing
yeah,
around
they're
and
like,
like out of control. And but the get up, it's a skill. You get on the ground with
hmm
poise and you get back up as best as you can. It's for all fitness levels and it's very symbolic because when we get knocked down, we have to get back up. And the more that you do it, the stronger that you're going to get. And not only is it's going to build muscle, you're going to be more mobile, you're going to feel your body through space better, you're going to increase your cardiovascular capacity. Like you're going to have better, you're not going to be winded when you walk up the stairs. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need any equipment, you don't need any time, because literally if you were to plop down and do 10 get-ups right now, it might take you a couple of minutes, but you're like, dang, that's an entire workout right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just I've rebranded the get up, or the rebranded the burpee into the get up, and it helps people on all fitness levels, whether you're an Olympian or your grandma Ethel. You
Yeah.
know, like, yeah, everybody needs to practice the get up, because as
That's
you
the very thing
age,
you do anyway. Yeah. Every
yeah,
morning you get up and you can't escape from moving. You're the second person who actually said that. But I mean, combining them to all four, that's a step that those are the steps that I can follow even tomorrow.
yeah, oh,
Okay.
absolutely. And I've designed the program for you to
Mhm.
implement it within your life. There's so many coaches out there that they'll write up this big program and they're like, okay, go hop on it. And they want you to uproot your life and get on their
For
program.
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to uproot your life and hop on someone else's program and change everything at one time. Change doesn't happen that way. I mean,
That's
you
true.
can do it,
Yeah.
but if you're actually going to stick with it long term, it's going to have to flow with your current life and what you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
more, and eventually over time, the more that you understand and become more comfortable with these steps, well,
with
then
this
it's just part of your
integration.
life. Then yeah, you've made it your
Yeah.
own.
Okay. Right. So what is selfless selfishness? You pointed this out. This is a good one.
Well, so many people think that it's selfish to take care of yourself first, and
Hmm.
but it's not, because if you are trying to take care of others, you need
Yeah.
to be a whole version of yourself. You need to be your strongest version of yourself. And if you're constantly giving everything you have away, if you're never taking care of your own needs, you're pouring from an empty glass.
Hmm.
And we can't fill other people's buckets pouring from an empty glass. We have to be full and overflowing with energy and abundance, and in order to pour into other people. Because again, like if we have nothing to give, if we're totally tapped out and we're running
Hmm.
on fumes, we're not showing up like we should be for people. So it might seem counterintuitive to take care of your needs first, but it's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
So, take and doing the 4 steps, that's really pouring into yourself of the get up gang. There's other ways to pour into yourself first, but yeah, if you have kids to take care of, you got older folks to take care of, you want to show up to your job the best, you've got to slow down, stop pouring so much into that stuff, get your foundation set up, and then move forward. So yeah, that's selfish selflessness. I know it's weird to say. I've never heard anybody call it selfless selfishness, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm over here creating
People
words and
call it
phrases.
people call it like self-love, self-care, but this is the
Yeah.
first one. Selfless selfishness. Okay. Beautifully put. Thank you, Josh. All right. You had a statement of replenishing the well on your profile. I don't know if this is similar to what you just said, but what does this mean to relationship? Like I know we touched about it just now. But what does that mean on a grander scale for relationships?
Yeah, in terms of, it's showing appreciation for the most
Mm,
part, but when other
okay.
people are giving to you, then you reciprocate and give back in a manner that, you know, it's so think about, if you're always taking from the well and you never take care of the well, the well's going to dry up, right? If you're
Yeah.
always taking from an individual and you never provide value back to them, then they're going to feel used. You don't, and if
Mm,
someone if
Taking them for
someone,
granted.
yeah, but if you show appreciation and you provide value back to the person that's providing you value, well, you're going to spiral up with that person because they know that you have their best interest at heart.
In heart, yeah.
And we've all been in situations where people just take, and we're like, and it could be the people closest to us,
That's true.
and it's common courtesy, and it's also replenishing the well. You know how we were talking about getting a mentor a while
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Well, that mentor is going to, I mean, they're not going to say it, but you got to replenish the
You're gonna
well. Like
replenish their well.
if
Okay.
they're helping you accelerate 20 years down a path and giving you everything they've learned in like just on a one pager, well, that's extreme value there. So you're going to have to reciprocate and give back to them in a way
Mm-hmm.
that they need. Uh, Whether it's your spouse or a mentor or anything, it's providing value back to others that are giving to you.
Okay. And then this is what I wanted to talk to you about as well. Psychological warfare. Ah, what is that? I mean, I used to hear that word it used negatively, but then you said you're a lover of that. Like, how are you applying this to yourself, like to your daily life?
Psychological warfare holds a special place in my heart. Like,
Really? Okay. All right.
well, it's you can win a battle before
Mm-hmm.
the battle's even thought of. And I used to do this on the athletic playing field because people would
Mm-hmm.
know that I was crazy and
Mm.
they knew that pretty much nothing was off limits. Like when when I played
You're
baseball,
you're barbaric on the when
yeah,
you say
like one,
that.
they knew that I threw my body around and that I was very aggressive, but I may take somebody's sister out on a date before the game on the other team. Like I'd take their
Oh
sisters
my
out
God,
or
to that
be like
extent.
texting their mom or something. Yeah, like the pitcher for the other team because I played baseball. Like I'd
Gosh.
be like weeks in advance. I would be really getting under people's skin before it ever even happened, and they would be so
Okay.
because
Has
on the athletic
how has
playing
that
field,
yeah, I mean my next question is has that ever backfired?
oh yeah, yeah, it absolutely can. Because the psychological warfare is a two-way street, but if you can
Mm,
think about it in detail before you ever do
yeah,
it, and know that there's always risk to things, right?
yeah.
Your strategy might not hit, but
Mm,
at the same time, you can, if you're smart about it, you can win the battle before you're even close to actually getting to the battlefield. So yeah, and I I think it's
can
Sun
you
Tzu.
like yeah, Sun Tzu, the art of war. I
Yeah,
thought about that when
it,
you were talking about it. It's like
it-
okay, but then I don't
yeah.
know how dating the opponent's sister is gonna ensure that you're gonna win the game.
Well,
How
it's
does that?
because they're so mad.
Yeah, they're
They're running
fuming.
high emotions and they're thinking about
Yeah.
something else. They're like, "Oh, I
They're not
hate Josh.
focused.
He
Yeah.
he was he was dating my sister, and like they're thinking about me dating their sister instead of the game, and I'm worried about the game.
Clever.
So yeah,
Smart.
because you're making them focus on something else completely and getting yeah. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
it's it's not always pretty, but it's
It works.
but but it works. Oh, it absolutely works. Arnold
Should I feel
Schwarzenegger talks a lot
guilty?
about psychological warfare too.
Should I be guilty if I were to apply that on myself or to people at work?
You can apply psychological warfare anywhere you want. Like,
Gosh, I feel guilty. Like, okay, but think of the intention. Everything starts with intent, right? Okay.
it
I'm
does.
gonna ponder about that. Okay, so what keeps you up at night, Josh? Or do you sleep well at night?
Uh, Visions of it depends on the wave that I'm in. Lately,
Okay.
I'm getting back into better sleep,
All right.
but for the most part, I'd say over the last month, me really building the Get Up Gang community and
Mm,
really crafting my message because I'm hopping over here into the personal development advisory space, really
right.
crafting that solid message. And that's what keeps me up at night is just I know that where I'm supposed to be, and it's going to take time in the trenches to get there, and it's either you're either doing it or you're not. So we only have so much time on this earth, and well, you're either getting things done or you're not.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, two more questions and I can let you go.
All
What
right.
is your mantra?
What is my mantra?
Mm-hmm.
Self-reliance is gold. Like you gotta it's important to depend on others, but you gotta ultimately know that you're gonna be there for yourself.
Showing up for yourself then.
Hmm.
Okay, right. If you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, I'm gonna do, okay, yada yada yada, dash Josh Parish. What would it be?
A quote or what's my
Yes,
legacy?
yes. Yeah, a quote, like you leave it behind as your legacy. It's like, you have Maya Angelou, so like this is
That's
by
very
Josh
thought
Parish.
provoking. Well,
That's the essence of my podcast.
good one. Okay, so the tagline of the Get Up Gang is "We get
Hmm.
up to get down," right? So
Oh, okay. We get
yeah,
up to get
because
down.
like
Yeah,
you do your
yeah.
get ups, and then you are in a space to get down, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that.
Simple.
You just the get up solves almost everything. So, and then once you do enough get ups, then you'll be able to really get down.
Exactly. Wow. I think that pretty much wrapped up our interview. I didn't know I could do this in like 20 minutes, but we
Heck
did.
yeah, girl! I told you we can get it done.
Yeah. Well, this is like by far the shortest interview I've had, but I had so much fun, and it was like just that, and I love it. So thank you
Shoot,
so much, Josh, for your time. I have followed you on Instagram, and when I air this episode, I'll be sure to tag you, and then you can share it on your profile as well.
absolutely. I'll be sure to follow you back here just in a second.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Josh. I'll see you
Yes, ma'am.
again next time. Yeah, bye
See you
bye.
soon. Have a good day.